Thank you for joining us. I'm sitting here with Ted Thomas, who of course knows everything about tax lien certificates and even tax sales auctions. That's what we're going to be talking about today, Ted. And first question about tax sales auctions: are they all conducted the same way when we actually go to one of these things? You know, depending on the state or the county I'm going to, is it all conducted the same way, pretty much?
Well, actually, an auction process is relatively easy, but for tax defaulted property, it's basically they're going to start low and then the highest bidder is going to win it. All right. Now, I really like going to the physical auction. Now, why do I like going to physical auction? If you go to an auction and you're in the room, you have kind of a sense for what's going on there. Now, I don't go to an auction unless I've already gone out and checked the property, and unless I know what I'm going to bid, and unless I know what I'm going to do with the property. So now, those are three things that most people don't do. They go to the auction and pray they're going to get something. I don't do that. I want to have evaluated the property before I went. I want to make sure that I know what I can sell it for. I've thought all that process out. All right, now, if you go to an auction, so tax sale auctions are covered, or at least they're authorized in 3,000 plus counties in the United States. 3,000 counties. So there'll be 5,000 auctions this year because some of the counties will have 2 or 3 auctions. All right, so now some of the auctions in the small population counties, what you're going to find is there's going to be a couple of dozen properties. Now, that's pretty easy. So if you live in a small population county, go to the auction, watch. It's only going to take 20 or 30 minutes or half an hour. All right, so now that's a small population. If you go to a big population county, all right, what's going to happen there? Some of those auctions will have 100. Some will have it like I've been to Los Angeles where they had 2,000 properties to sell. They can't get 2,000 properties sold. All right, so here's what the auctioneer does. All right, we'll show you. I'll even show you a little, a short, what I call a cartoon video of that. All right, so what the auctioneer does is they call out the number of the property. So all properties are not sold by a street address; they're sold by a number. So just like you have a social security number, a property has a number. So they call out the number to have a bid, right? And then people will bid, and then it goes like this: as fast as I can clap my hand, and sold. Clap my hand, sold. Because he's got 2,000 of those to sell. So it's insane. It's going to go so fast. All right, now that's at a big auction. So in Los Angeles, when you're there, they can't get all 2,000 of them sold. So they're going to have a subsequent auction the next day. So go to a small county, the one you live in, wherever. Go to that county. A live auction is a ton of fun. Why? Because you're going to see all the people. Maybe your neighbors are even going to be there. You're going to see people. You're going to see some people are very timid. They get a bidder's number and they go, number 5. Other people, number 5. Then you're going to see other people, 5. You know, whatever their number is. You never know. They're just, the people that are aggressive, they're aggressive at the auction. All right, now, the auction goes up, up, up. But you have to have a plan. And so if you don't have a plan, you're going to cut your head off. Because you're going to get excited and you want to win. You don't want to win an auction, let me tell you that. Because the winner is the one that pays the most money. You don't want to do that. You want to buy it low so you can sell it low fast. Get the idea? Buy it low, sell it low, do it fast, take your money to the bank.
And like you said, Ted, I mean, you know, the excitement of just being there. And I have to imagine for the first time, somebody doing this for the first time, it's pretty exciting. You might get caught up in that. And if I'm hearing you right, Ted, that's why you need to go in there with a plan about what I'm going to do with this property, how I'm going to get rid of this property. That way I know I've got a ceiling of what I'm going to bid for this property so I don't get caught up in all the excitement.
Good job. Good job. Absolutely. You want to know what your maximum bid is going to be. All right. So now what's happening, I like the live auctions, but what's happening is the counties, well, especially since COVID, the counties are starting to do all online auctions. Now, the online auction, there isn't anything any more boring than watching paint dry. Well, that's about how an online auction works, because they have a bid and then they wait so many minutes to let other people bid. And then if someone wants to up the bid, then they wait so many minutes to that. So you could go to an auction at 10 o'clock in the morning and still be there at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, because it's going to take so long. So what they do is they cut them off at a certain point. So they say if the bid's on to get it, because if they've got a lot of properties to sell. So online auctions are not as much fun, but you have to be careful. Here's the big problem with the online auction. You see, it's very sterile. Like people are sitting at home watching us on their computer. Some of them are drinking beer. Some of them are drinking coffee. Some of them got the dog barking. Some of them are petting their cat. Some of them are arguing with the kids. I don't know what's going on, right? All right. So online auctions, all that could be going on. All right. They're not paying attention to what's going on. So if they don't pay attention, that's a challenge. All right. So online auctions, you have to have a plan. So what I simply do, and I'm giving you the inside stuff right now, folks. If I know I'm going to the auction and it's an online auction, first I plan my strategy. I figure out which one, I get the auction brochure. I figure out which properties I want to bid on. Then I'm going to research each one of them. I'm going to find out, is the house, the structure there? Do I have pictures of it? How much is owed on it? Is it very old? Like if it was 100 years old, I'm not going to bid on it. I don't want to have to fix a 100-year-old house if something wrong. So I'm going to do all my evaluation. Let's call that due diligence. Then let's say I live in Florida. I'm going to fly there. So let's say it's in Cleveland. So I'm going to go over to the airport. I'm going to fly to Cleveland. I'm going to drive out there. And I'm going to drive the car. So that's the property, right? And then I have a big iPad. My iPad's this big. And I take pictures. And then I write all over the pictures. The roof is bad. Oh, the hedges need cleaning. Okay, nice neighborhood, bad neighborhood. Okay, not taken care of like it should. I write all that. Then I come home, and I get that right in front of me for the online auction. See, I've been there. I had boots on the ground. No boots on the ground, no bid.
It's a good idea because you're, like you say, you're looking at the property right there, even though you're on an online auction, and it's kind of like it's still with you. Hey, I do have a question about, you mentioned how people can get distracted, when they're sitting in front of their computer. Could that potentially give you a chance to get a better deal with an online auction? What I mean by that is that if I'm not being distracted, if I'm keeping boom, might there be other folks who I'm bidding against who aren't paying as much attention, and so maybe they forget to bid up, and I get it, for a smaller price?
Well, I can tell you that your instincts are perfect, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been at the auction, at the live auction, and people will leave to go to the bathroom, and then they'll come back and realize it's already gone past, and they'll say, "What bidder number are they at?" And you give them the number, he said, "Oh no, I missed the one I wanted to bid on." They came all the way to the auction. So that happens all the time. Or here's one that I hate to hear. I laugh when it happens. People will say they raise their hand and they bought the property, and then the wife will turn to the husband and he'll say, "All right, Homer, let's go see what we bought."
Oh, that's not good at all. That would break your first rule, wouldn't it?
People do it every single day. They buy properties, they get there. When you get and see what a property looks like when it's burned down, it looks bad, but it really looks bad if you own it at that point.
Would you recommend, though, having perhaps a lucky shirt that you wear to the auctions? I'm looking at your shirt and I'm going, man, that's got to be Ted's lucky auction shirt, man, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll auction off my shirts and people can wear them to the auction. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well,
actually, I don't wear them to the auction. When I go, I pull my hat down, I wear glasses, and I got my coat up like this, and I hold my bidder's card up and stuff like that.
You can low key, huh? Yeah. Well, and I know it's probably dumb to ask. To ask you if there's anything that you should do that's lucky, because I know that a lot of what you're preaching here and talking about, it's not luck. It's checking out the property, checking out everything, and being prepared with a plan.
If people are doing better than you are, whether it's in life or whether it's in sports or whether it's making money, it's because they're doing something you're not doing.
Yeah.
And so you need to figure out what the hell they're doing. You don't want to just do stuff and hope it's going to work, especially if you're spending money. Not a good idea.
Hey, Ted, as part of your training, will you guys actually take your students to an auction so that they can, get a sense of it?
One of the most popular things we do is for the newcomers, we have a lot of classes. So they can come to class every single day if they want. We don't charge for that. Charge them once for the course, and then they can go to those classes for a year. And so we have a lot of coaches. What our coaches do is they actually take people on a buying tour. So they'll say, all right, who are the people really going to do this? So the people have been through the training say, I want to go. And so they'll get a half a dozen people, and then they'll all meet in Dallas the day before. And they'll go to the Dallas auction, or they'll go to Houston, or they'll go to the Los Angeles, or they go to Sioux City, Iowa, wherever it is that they want to go. And then they all go in a room and do their due diligence, and the coach walks around and said, no, don't forget to check this, don't forget to check that. So they go with someone to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Then when they get there, see, some people go to the auction, then they just leave afterwards. Well, wait a minute, you can't leave. If you bought a property, go out and secure your property. Go out and make sure the doors are locked, make sure it's secure. I mean, you don't want to just go back home. Some people just go back home, they leave the property. So wait a minute, go check.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never even thought about that. I mean, yeah, of course. If you win a dog, I think you got a property now.
Wait a minute, did you go inside and look at it? What did you do? Oh no, I just came home. I said, oh my, you don't want to look at your own property? Yeah.
So you refer to these as buying tours. That's what some of the coaches.
Yeah, we call them buying tours. We do every quarter. We do at least one of those, and then.
Do we have Ted? Do we have a video on those? On what that looks like? Do we have a video to show?
I have some screenshots on that. Not screenshots.
Okay.
But still shots on that. You know what? I'll send you one of those, and we'll get Austin to include it. Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah. Well, Ted, I'll tell you that gives a pretty good overview of what happens during the auction. And again, I would imagine the first time somebody goes, it's pretty exciting. So that buying tour and having somebody with experience there with you, it makes it a lot easier to get your feet wet into this thing. So pretty neat.
Yeah, it's easier to spend money when you got a coach with you than it is doing it by yourself.
Sure it is. But in terms of finding some of the properties, getting a head start on that and getting their feet, if somebody's interested in getting their feet wet right now, I know there's something you've got a free offer.
Well, you know what people like to do? People always ask me about, can I have an auction list? Can I see what it looks like and stuff like that ahead of time? And yes, you can do that. So folks, just write this down. You'll see it on your screen, tedthomas.com/free. And if you'll just go there, there's going to be a little video that's going to tell you about how you can get an auction list so you can look at it yourself and start asking future questions from there. All right, that's absolutely free. So tedthomas.com/free. So just go there when we finish this video and they'll send you an auction list and then you can take it from there. So I hope you enjoyed all that.